Hungry? Order your favorite meals and drinks from hundreds of restaurants through the best app and have your food delivered to your doorstep. Download the AfriDelivery app now.
So that's more revenues than you've ever had suddenly in your account.
Dude, it was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. I had not seen such numbers ever.
But had you learned the lesson that this is not my money and this is somebody else's money?
That's where now I learned. Yeah.
What made you learn?
So, fast forward now to 2020, COVID hit. So when COVID hits, it came with the good and the bad. Okay? So you've got a lot of, first of all, you've got a lot of partners coming onto you. Now the restaurants are closing. They need to be on a delivery platform because now people are not going to restaurants anymore, lockdowns, so on and so forth. And I get excited. I'm like, you know what? Take everyone coming. I don't care.
You take the ball.
Whether it's a good deal or a bad deal, I don't care. Take it. Man, I had not calculated my commercials to understand the difference between a good deal and a bad deal. And it took me maybe until the end of the year of 2020 to recognize that I had lost so much money. It had trickled down to millions of shillings, tens of millions of shillings.
In loss?
In losses, in cash missing.
I don't understand. What would a bad deal be?
So a bad deal is why you're spending more than you're making.
But why would you spend more than you're making with the restaurant?
Because your cost is higher. For example, if you're not given the right margins, okay? First of all, okay, number one, you have to calculate the cost of, let's say, each delivery, okay? So if I'm spending more on each delivery.
In terms of even just the cost of delivery.
And also now, the biggest mistake I made is I took low revenue or low margin partners. So what happened is I'm using good money, chasing bad money. So I would spend most of my resources, would focus on making delivering, fulfilling low margin restaurants. Okay, so and all this time you have a capacity. That means you're locking out customers that will potentially buy from high margin. Restaurants. But all this time you can't see that because your cash is still fine. You've got money.
And of course, even the consumers increased
in
terms of them now coming to the platform because there's lockdowns.
Exactly. I mean, everything is, dude, you're the biggest. You're huge. It's a privilege. There was a queue. I tell you, no, you think you can only go live in a month.
What?
Yeah.
So how that expansion sounds good, but it sounds like it was crazy.
It was crazy. And also, let me tell you something. One thing I neglected, cost of growth. Let me tell you, cost of growth, and that's why now the dollar got a lost value. My cost of growth was so high, and I bought so much and invested so much, but I never knew how much it was.
When you talk about cost of growth, you're talking about now growing into other towns.
Growing into other towns, adding more bikes, adding more employees.
Well, how many towns did you expand to?
3.
So now, currently, where are you? In what towns?
So in Lusaka, Kitwe, and Dola.
At that time, you expanded into?
2. So we added 2 more. They're still the same ones.
Okay. Dola and Kitwe.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the cost of expansion, you mean setting up offices there, buying
offices.
Bikes for that side, getting employees who are going to be on that side.
Yeah.
And some of these are fixed costs that are they are capital costs.
Yeah, capital cost. Capex. Your capex is insane. You don't even know because you've got cash.
So when do you find out? When they begin calling in their money?
Yeah. They're like, yo, our balance. And then now you check and you're like, ish, which balance? Which balance is this you're talking about, sir?
November and December.
Yeah. November, December, you haven't been paid. What's going on? Man. You start doing your math and you're like, no, what are you talking about? So all this time, what was happening? Majority of the money went through fraud, yeah? So there were certain controls that were not followed properly.
Fraud meaning your employees stealing from you?
Some of my employees, customers not making payments. Because don't forget, the verification of payments is not happening in real time. So you would lose probably like 10 million every month on customers not paying. Can you imagine losing 10 million shillings?
What?
Yeah. How much is $10,000?
Yes.
It's 10 million.
No, it's $10,000 is 1 million.
Yeah, like 1 million of customers not paying.
Jeez.
A month.
Why? Because they said they've paid with the credit card.
No, they say, I sent the payment through mobile money or whatever. But there's nobody to verify in real time. Yeah, and the food has already been delivered or whatever I was being delivering. We used to stock cement. I stopped that because cement would just be stolen by the what do we call them? Those boys, offloaders. Yeah. There was so much. It was like Pablo's business. There's so much cash coming in. And you guys are stealing from you. You only find this out when you're months in. And the figures they're giving you are so unrealistic. And it's like, let me get back to you, go get a drink and then you come back. Yeah. Because there are some balances that are being mentioned and I'm like, no, it's impossible.
The balances that they want, that they're owed.
I remember there's an audit that we did for one of the guys for a whole year, and I had an idea that balance was paid, but it wasn't actually paid. Some of it wasn't paid, which came to about $10,000.
1 million shillings.
Another 1 million. I think my liabilities were like 20 billion shillings.
What?
Yeah.
So how do you stay sane in that period?
You can't.
So what happened to you mentally?
So mentally I lose it. So first of all, I started not pushing that to other people at the office. I'm like, don't call me, just call these guys. Okay? So first of all, everybody around you becomes your enemy because you can't trust anyone. Because my question is, how did anybody see this? All those departments have got department heads.
Probably you're in cahoots.
Yeah. How did nobody see this? But another issue, you can't fire everybody because what are you going to do? You're going to run the business alone? You can't. So the first thing you do is you make it clear that you don't trust them. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That everybody now here is here to prove themselves that they're not the culprit. Okay? So if your department has been losing money, your job is to do your own internal audit. If you're missing 10 million, it has to come from somewhere. So first thing I stop keeping stock. So I'm no longer keeping stock. And then I stop accepting all that cash. So I tell the guys, for the sake of our partnership, here I'll still sell for you, but I'll pay you cash. Okay, so if a customer pays me today, I will pay you now. I don't want to keep it as I recover what was lost. Yeah. But at this time, don't forget I can't get a loan.
Because you're a foreigner.
Because I'm a foreigner.
But your business is doing well.
My business has always done well.
So why can't you get a loan on the basis of that?
Because they need collateral, landed collateral, of which I don't have, title deeds and stuff.
They need they need land. And as a foreigner, a title deed, and as a foreigner, you can't buy land in this country.
Not only that I can't buy land, I don't have it. I don't have it. And they don't.
What I can't buy, I don't have.
They not only want land, but they want land that you have built on. Yeah. So tell me. Me, first of all, was very much in denial that I actually owed that money.
Just give me a figure of how much debt you owed. You were in.
As of December 2020, it was about 10 million shillings. More. That's $100,000.
Yes.
Slightly more. Or slightly less.
Okay. So you can't get a loan.
Can't get a loan.
You've made it clear you can't trust people. You don't know who's stealing from you. You don't know who's in partnership.
Yeah. Even your customers are stealing. Everybody's stealing from you. But I'm sure the customers are ate for free for a year. Yeah.
So, but now you can't go after customers.
You can't. How? If the customer placed an order last week.
Okay, so you first of all, to mitigate it, you tell some restaurants or shops, I'll be paying you cash
because I don't want this debt to keep accumulating until I zip my loopholes.
So what happens? The bike riders bring you the cash every day and then you pay it.
Yeah. No, they pay, and then they receive it. It's a small exchange. It's recycled. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They go. Somebody orders. They go. When they're picking up the food, they pay.
Yeah.
Then when they go in they
receive the payment.
They receive the payment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they'll use that payment to make the next payment. It's not like they.
What happens though if they don't receive it in cash?
Then you have to send them offload.
So every morning, do you give your drivers a stipend?
Yeah, every morning they've got a float.
A float for their fuel?
For their fuel? No, fuel, they've got fuel cards now. They don't necessarily need to use that float.
But before, did they used to give them cash or did they used to have fuel cards?
Yeah, they used to get cash.
Okay, so did you bring in the fuel cards to mitigate that as well?
Yeah, my drivers would. Man.
And how do you know if a driver comes and tells you, a rider comes and tells you, I put 300 kwacha for fuel and they rode 2 kilometers?
You can tell by the number of the distances covered.
How do you know the distance covered?
So there's a map. Each rider has a map every day that's produced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were these systems always in place?
No. They were, but they were never utilized.
Oh, this situation made you...
Yeah, so now you have to start... First of all, you have to face your problems. But before you face your problems, there's a phase you have to go through. They call it denial, right? They call it denial. And you beat yourself up, man.
Okay, so mentally, this is what you are doing now.
Yeah, so now, man, I was like, first of all, I started drinking. And it got so bad. So bad. It became a daily thing now. Yeah.